Yes, I did spend another $550 improving my streaming setup and also my video editing setup. If you're somebody that's looking to become a streamer, or you're a creative doing a lot of Premiere Pro work or Photoshop work, or even somebody that wants to program a bunch of buttons to be shortcut keys, then this video might be for you. Throughout this video, I'm also going to show you how I spent $10,000 to try and become a streamer, how it hasn't worked. Gear isn't everything. I'll also give you some tips on which equipment I really recommend you buy and which I think is a total waste of money. So stay tuned for that. To start off this video, I want to tell you that you really do not need to buy the most expensive audio equipment. For example, I have Shure SM7Bs. These are top of the line audio microphones, the same ones that Joe Rogan uses. And to be quite honest, I barely use these other than when I'm doing podcasts, which I only need this little lavalier mic, and that's also the only thing you'll need. At the moment, I'm using a Rode Wireless Go 2. You can also use DJI mics, and I'll leave links in the description below for the best priced versions and then also the versions I would buy if I was you. The second thing I'd recommend is, say for example, you want to be a sim racer streamer. You really don't need to buy the most expensive steering wheel. You can buy an entry-level one. For example, the Camma C5 that I bought. This is the cheapest entry-level direct drive system that money can buy, and I'm very happy with it, because if I spent more money on just the steering wheel to become a streamer, I would waste so much money. Now, before I start unboxing the Masterhub Stream Kit on this top-down camera, and before I continue speaking to you on that camera, and before I continue speaking on this camera, the iPhone, I'd like to tell you that you also don't need the most expensive cameras to become a streamer. A ZV-E10 is more than enough. The quality is impeccable. A Sony A7 Mark IV that I'm using right here, it's way overkill for most videos online. An iPhone is more than good enough. If you have a decent microphone like the Rodes or the DJIs, if you have some proper lighting, you have everything you need to become a streamer. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. The Masterhub Streaming Kit. I'm gonna have you guys on here now. This is the Masterhub Streaming Kit, and I got the add-on knob and the add-on encoder just because, well, I like to go all out. I'll tell you if it's needed or not. Let's unbox it and have a look at what's inside of this majestic system. So first of all, we have divisions. We have our 5x fader, which you can connect sliders to. So for example, on Photoshop, you want to increase the intensity of a brush or decrease the size of a brush, or you want to increase volume on a stream, or you want to decrease volume on a stream. You can connect all of this individually through the Masterhub app. Then I also have the 2x roller that comes inside of the box. So you have a very nice to the touch roller. Hear that? What I think is really cool about the rollers is if you're somebody that has to scroll through a lot of footage perhaps, or you have to scroll through websites often, or maybe even timelines, you can connect this to make that happen. Next up is my 15 key master controller, which still has the plastic on it. And just have a look at that. So a lot of people online complain about the reflective nature of the plastic. I'd like to show you the previous designs that Coolermaster had for their initial ideas of this Masterhub. This is way more on brand, however, I think the previous version looked way better. Now, where this thing starts to shine is when it's actually plugged in and you can connect everything to it. For example, noises while you live stream, having shortcut keys to different apps on your device, or maybe screen 1 and screen 2. Next in the box, we have our base plate, I'm assuming. Well, I know because it says base plate on the box. Anyways, we have our base plate, and this thing feels very nice and sturdy. I think it has a metally feel to it, and obviously then you can connect all of your different modules to wherever you want them to be, which really is what makes this whole thing so cool. It has a little display port and a USB-C input. Very nice. Kind of like it. What? More? It has another display port and another USB-C input. Why? Next up, we're gonna be unboxing the Masterhub 3x knob. And this is the box. Really nicely packaged. It's just a shame that I don't have time for packaging. Open! Okay, so this is the box. And this is the little knob. So it has plastic over it as well, satisfying. I really like this part. And then what's nice about this little knobby, and you might be wondering now what would be different between this and, for example, this. Well, this is your scroller for big things, and you could technically connect both of these to the same things. However, in all honesty, what you'd rather want to be doing with this is adjust your light brightness, or for example, pan left and right for cameras, zoom in and out. If you're doing live stream zoomings, that's a really cool feature for this, and I can't wait to connect this to something interesting. And then the coolest of them all, this got me the most exciting. This is the IPS display, the encoder. I promise to be gentle with this box. You don't have to worry about the PTSD. Ah, nice. Anyways, the controller knob. Featuring, oh, yes. Hear this. That's really nice, I really like it. And you can click it. Now what makes this knob so cool is it displays things. So it can tell you how hot your PC is at the moment, or what your CPU usage is on, or even the volume of the music you're playing, or the size of your brush. That's what's nice. So with this, you don't get to see unless you look on your screen. With this, you get to see the actual amount being displayed on the screen, and I'll show you now when we connect all of this. So that in a nutshell is the unboxing of the Masterhub streaming kit. Now let's put this thing to use. Okay, so this is what it picks up at the moment. It's not happy with the way I've configured this thing, so let's just do it the right way and see if that helps. So let's put this one here, and this one here. Ah, okay, so it picks up all of them. And it even picks up as I move the slider up and down. And it gives me the ability to connect my Premiere Pro, my Illustrator, Photoshop, Streamlabs, Desktop, Master Control, OBS Studio, and Masterhub itself. So it's pretty simple to connect all of these. All you have to do is drag and connect. And then when you move it, you now have control over your OBS Studio. Let's take the sliders out. And let's put our knobs in. Now I'd like to play around with my Premiere Pro because I edit a lot of videos. So you can add markers, so that's pretty cool, but that won't work for these two. We can maybe do like add a marker to this one here. So if I want to add a marker in a video, that'll work, yeah. Okay, let's see, Photoshop would be better. Brushes, brush size, I'll be able to connect to this one. Let's say the brush hardness to this one, and let's say, oh, zooming in and out, that would be very useful. Okay, so then you zoom in and out. Now everything is so tiny. Made a mistake, take it back. Okay, anyways. And you have profiles as well that you can choose from. So you can set up like a profile for when you're busy editing. You can set up a profile for when you're busy streaming or gaming. That's pretty cool. So you don't have to reconnect all of the buttons every time you do something different. You can have a setup for example, when you are streaming, and then this is volume buttons. And then when you're busy editing, this is scroll wheels for your timeline, or zoom in or zoom out. Or you can just break everything like I did, and then you can't zoom in or out of your thing anymore.
One eternity later.
I fixed it! Oh, thank you, little knob. I fixed it. That's great. So that's great, in a nutshell, what you can do. And then obviously you can customize that photo as well. You can select from CPU usage, GPU temperature, and that's it for the Masterhub Stream Kit. I think I didn't waste my money at all. I think this is a very useful piece of technology to add for $550. I do think, however, that it's gonna be one of those situations where if you don't spend time with the software and figuring out how you want to make your workflow work, which buttons do you want to connect to what, then you're definitely going to waste your money, because it's going to be frustrating. You're going to put it somewhere and you're not going to use it. However, the amount of functionality it adds to your workspace and your setup is, in my opinion, totally worth it. But don't go wasting your money on buying this thing and not using it. It's the exact same as a fancy camera. If you buy a fancy camera and you don't use it and you don't learn how to use it, you're gonna waste your money.